we look at sort of the effectiveness of implementation, when we deliver an SEO audit, we're looking to deliver sort of practical recommendations and solutions that are ultimately going to help improve the SEO performance of a website. And I think another purpose is that we're looking to uncover performance barriers, and instead of looking at these as barriers to success, we want to turn them into opportunities for how we can improve the performance of a website. I just wanted to highlight here that I've bolded out top-line analysis, and the reason for that is that the initial SEO audit that we're going to go through today is it will give you an overview into all the different factors that contribute to SEO. And what we might find, or what we usually find when we do an SEO audit, is that further down the line, for example, if we're looking at a backlink analysis throughout the audit, we'll find that just doing the initial SEO audit isn't enough, and we actually need to go further in depth and look at different sort of parts of the audit in a lot more detail, because perhaps there are issues there that we could see that could perhaps be a problem in future. Another reason for doing an SEO audit is to benchmark, so we can use it as an initial benchmark for where your website is at the moment. And then if we were to do future audits, we can then compare where you were then and where you are now. And it's not only to sort of benchmark performance, but it can also help sort of benchmark resource, if you like, or budget, and help you channel where you may need to increase that budget or increase that resource in future because there's perhaps potential problem areas. And finally is objectives. So we need to make sure with the SEO audit that the business objectives you've got for the year are actually achievable and they can be reached. And they're not something sort of hidden in the background of the website that are actually going to prevent you from getting to those objectives. I think the main reason that I want to convey to you today is you don't need a reason to do an SEO audit. And I think we should instead be asking, why aren't we auditing? Why aren't we doing it on a regular basis? Because it's such an integral part of a strategy. I'm going to use a bit of a cheesy analogy, but I think an audit is the foundation of your SEO strategy and your overall marketing strategy. And the reason for this is that if you were going to build a house, you wouldn't just build without looking at the ground you were building on, or looking at your neighbours, the neighbourhood, and how other people have built their houses. And I think it's really the same with an online strategy. We need to go out there and survey the search landscape. We need to see, what other people are doing, how they're doing it. But the way that we do an audit is we break it down into head terms. So with the initial audit, we'll have different sections, and we'll break those sections into further in-depth analysis. So, for example, we'll look at a website analysis, and that will be our head term of a section. Within that website analysis, we'll be looking at things like 404 pages, robots.txt files, and general sort of website statistics. We'll then look at the on-site aspect of a website. So is the content relevant? Is there an XML sitemap? Is there metadata? Is it optimized? As I said earlier, we'll then go on to the off-site aspect of SEO. So we'll have a look at the backlink profile, the anchor text. Is it, are we happy with these links? Do we think there's some potential pitfalls there? And then we'll have a look at sort of social media. So rather than going sort of fully in depth at this stage and doing a full social audit, we'll rather have a look at the platforms that you're active on and perhaps the potential gaps that are there that could be targeted. And this is again where it leads to the point where with the initial audit we might uncover places and sections of the website that actually need more focus and attention. So the reason again that we focus on head terms for the initial audit is it makes it a lot more manageable. And one of the things that we often experience is we'll do an audit for a client and then it seems very overwhelming when it's delivered. There's so many actions, so many priorities that nobody really knows where to start. And one of the reasons that we structure it like this is it's, as I'll show you in our template here, it's very easy and very manageable to kind of understand and to assess the priorities. It's worth noting that this audit template is just one that I particularly like to use, so you might have had an audit delivered in a different structure and it's not right or wrong, it's just that I prefer to use this template. Every audit that we deliver is bespoke to every client, so some of the things on the left-hand side might not be in there for your audit depending on what we're focusing on. It's very easy to see where obviously the pink boxes are. These are the priority actions, and it means that we can break things down into manageable structures, and we know sort of who's responsible for each task or what skill set needs to be found to address some of the issues. As I said earlier, it can be very overwhelming sometimes when you get such a big list of actions that are quite crucial actions to the performance of a website. Another issue that we sometimes see is once these changes have been implemented, people tend to sort of kick back and say, great, I've done it, I've had my audit, made all the changes, and now my website's fine. But it's not the case, and as we know with an SEO strategy, a content strategy, it always needs to continue to evolve to stay ahead of the search algorithms, and it's exactly the same with the SEO audit, especially if it is the foundation of your online strategy.